Cosby Show. My name is James Winborn, and I'm honored to have with you today Renika McQueen from Detroit. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I cannot complain. Cannot complain. So you have a very interesting story that I definitely would like for you to share to my guests out here of how'd you even become a filmmaker?
Um, I'm sorry, my voice is so hoarse. I was filming until like two in
That's
the
okay.
morning last night. Um, so I've been a writer since I was a little girl, but
Hmm.
I got into filmmaking by going to another independent filmmaker's red carpet premiere. And once I saw what they were doing, I decided I wanted to make a movie. So I reached out to them and told them I wanted to make a movie,
Hmm.
met up with them, and it took off from there.
Okay. So what was it like for far as the early stages on set? Because tell me what was your profession before this?
I was a correction officer for
Okay.
17 years.
Okay. So you really had no background in filmmaking at all.
None whatsoever. No.
So what so what was that like on set? Like you didn't know the language they were speaking and things like that?
No,
Mm,
I did not know anything. I
mm,
learned from my very first movie and just paying attention and being taught by the other filmmaker. But other than that, I didn't know anything.
hmm. So when you were on these sets in the early years, you were the director or just a writer?
I was the executive producer and the writer.
Okay.
Mhm.
But you did have some say in what was being shot and how things were being shot too, correct?
Most definitely, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So were people like listening to you, but even though you didn't have the experience, but were they still giving you the same amount of respect on set?
You know what? Some of them was and some of them weren't.
Hmm.
I think the ones who didn't realize who I was not. I think maybe they thought I was a production assistant or
Right.
something like that. So
Go get
their
me a
attitude
coffee,
was,
lady.
yeah, yeah, until they found out that I was the one writing their checks, and then it was
Oh.
totally different.
Oh, when they
Yeah,
start mentioning the name up on the bottom, like, oh, okay. Maybe I get my own
yeah,
coffee next time, right?
yeah.
Okay. All right, cool. So you have no background in film, and you're out here writing these amazing stories. So what
Thank
type of
you.
stories do you really enjoy writing the most?
I like suspense and thriller, drama. Those are like my top ones.
Hmm. So where do you get your inspiration from for writing these stories?
Everyday life, part of my career at the prison, maybe something I see on the news, things
Hmm.
like that.
So
Yeah.
you have taken real life experience or stories and putting them into your films.
So I've taken bits and pieces from stories or of people that I know or, prisoners knowing some of their stories or different things like that, or just something I may see on the news,
Okay.
anything that, stuff like that. Yeah.
I know being in the prison system, you have a lot of stories that you could write or talk about, and maybe you had to change some names around, but I'm quite sure you get a lot of stories in that.
For sure. For
Yeah.
sure.
And I
Yes.
know that the series that I started to watch with you, with the guy in prison, and he's talking to his parents about, did he or did
Yeah.
he not commit this crime? Did that story come from this behind the walls?
No, now that didn't. It was just an idea that popped up in my head and I wrote it. Yeah.
Mm.
The
Can you can,
stranger in
can
our
you talk a
house.
little bit about that story because I think it's very interesting, especially the dynamic of him trying to play his parents that way. Where did that come about?
Yeah. Just because, sometimes kids try to play parents against each other. It's like they know which one is weak for them. They know which one is
Hmm.
not having it, not going for that. So I wanted to put that, into the storyline.
Okay. I used to see them a lot on the Cosby Show. They used to play it late a lot. Some of the kids would not go to Cliff because they knew Claire would give a different
Yes.
answer. Yeah, so I will always
Yeah.
see that on TV. So I understand, and I really enjoyed watching it, especially your piece I'm talking about here, of the
Thank
dynamic
you.
of how he was one way with his mom and another way with his father. So
Yes.
it's very
Because he
interesting.
knew his dad wasn't going for that.
Mm-hmm. Right. Okay. So what was so? So I really want to dig into some of these experiences, not having experience on set. What were some of the things that
Okay.
were challenging for you?
Just like you said, not knowing some of the language, the lingo, when they say certain things, I didn't know what they were talking about. So, of course, I had to ask plenty of questions.
Hmm.
Um, just learning how to even do a budget for a film. I had no idea with that. Um, Learning to utilize my resources, really understanding what that meant, things
Okay.
like that.
So some of the things that you were starting to begin and learn, did it become discouraging to get into this industry?
No, not really. I will say this, my experience making my first film wasn't as great as I would have liked for it to have been,
Hmm.
but I'm glad it did because it taught me a lot.
Right. 'Cause I know being in this building, I mean, in this industry, even for myself, speaking about myself, I have times I had to question my decisions. Like, am I really, do I really want to do this? Because it's a lot, especially being
Yeah,
a producer.
it is.
It's a lot. It's a lot on
Yes.
your plate, and
Yes.
it's even more on your plate when you're the director. So
Yeah.
it's a lot. You got to really have a passion and a thrive for this to want to continue and be successful in what we're doing out here in this industry. And I commend you for what you're doing.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
And I'm glad I'm not the only one that feel that way about it being
No,
a
you're
lot for
not. Trust me, you're not at
producers.
all. so, so the Detroit film industry on Tubi is really
Mhm.
blowing up.
Yes.
Like y'all have your own
Yes.
little section now. So,
Yeah.
have you collaborated with other Detroit filmmakers? Like, what is that in? What is that like out in Detroit right now?
Yeah, oh, Detroit, we collaborate a lot. We do a lot with each other. Like I said, I just was on set last night till 2 a.m. directing a series for someone else.
Hmm.
I also produced a movie, a comedy for someone else here. So we definitely collaborate and get together.
Hmm. Do y'all have like film screenings, film festivals, or networking events that out in Detroit?
Yes, we have all of that. Yes, we
Yeah,
have all
tell
of
me
that.
about some of them. So, what's going on at the Detroit?
Yeah, so we have award shows that are really, really nice. We have movie premieres, like you said, the screenings. We have all of that. They teach classes up here and everything.
Hmm. Okay. So y'all have do y'all have acting schools, things like that?
Yes, we have filmmaking schools. Yeah, we have all of that. Detroit has a lot going on. Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, for y'all to have your own section on Tubi, that's saying a lot. Somebody's watching. Somebody, cause Philadelphia ain't got
Yeah.
their own section yet. I'm feeling a little jealous.
Yeah. No, it's coming. It's coming.
So how are you getting your actors? I'm so curious about your journey and how you connect.
You know what? I hold casting calls, and
Okay.
sometimes I already have certain actors here in mind who I would like to use. So sometimes I'll just reach out to them directly and say, "Hey, I'm doing this project. Would you like to be a part of it?" And
Mm.
10 times out of 10, they say yes.
Oh yeah. So do you find
Yeah.
yourself using the same actors over and over again, or a lot of new people signing up? What?
No, no, because you know what? I love an underdog. I love a new face, fresh
Hmm.
face. And
Hmm.
I will use some of the same people, but I definitely love bringing together a new cast with new faces.
Hmm. Yeah, I'm the same way too. I don't like to have the same people in all my projects. I love working with new actors. I think
Yeah,
that's one of the exciting things I love about this industry is meeting people and seeing what they could bring to your project and what they could bring to the table. I think it makes your film a whole lot better. You know, I've seen in the past where producers have used the same people over and over and over again,
mhm,
and it's like you get
yeah,
to see their talent, but it's like it's a whole bunch of characters into one now. It's like you get confused what you're watching sometimes, you know. So you want
yeah.
to see the new people,
A- And I feel like meeting new people, using new people, it's a great way to network and
hmm
build, you know?
right?
Yeah.
So how does it feel when you're hosting auditions and people are trying to get on your project? How does that feel?
I feel honored. I'm not gonna lie, because I get people telling me all the time they can't wait to work with me. They love my work. They
Hmm.
love what I'm doing. So I always feel very honored when
Right.
people are showing up and showing out to be a part of one of my projects.
That's good. That's good. Have you won any awards yet, or any of the actors won anything yet, coming out of from your projects?
Yes, so we
Uh oh.
just won a few months ago an award for Best Series. The young man who
Congrats.
played the lead in The Stranger in Our House, he won an award for Best Actor. We got like three different awards, and then I won for Cain and Abel.
Hmm.
I've won a few awards, yeah.
That's awesome. Congratulations. I know you. I know you're
Thank
happy
you.
with your decision here now so far. You don't have to be in the prison no
Yes.
more.
Yeah, I just made a post about it this morning too on Facebook, saying how thankful I
Oh,
was to be able to say when I'm going to work, I'm going on set.
yes, yes, yeah. That's a definitely a goal of mine. I want to get there
Yeah.
one day too. So just imagine if you'd have did this maybe 20 years ago, right? Where you'd have been
Oh man.
at this point,
Yeah.
right? So how long has it been now since you started this? What year was this?
2018 was when I first started making
Hmm.
my first film, Deceitful Passions. It
Okay,
wasn't released until 2019.
got you. Okay, so you were right before the pandemic. So
Yes.
what type of things did you have to deal with during the pandemic as a filmmaker?
You know what? I'm not gonna lie. The pandemic, me dropping a movie right when the pandemic started,
Hmm.
was probably one of the best things that could have happened to me because everybody was in the house. They couldn't go outside or
Right,
do too much.
right.
So they were looking for movies to watch. Mine was new. I was
Hmm.
promoting it every day on social media. So it did really, really well because of that.
That's good. Cause I remember when the pandemic started, we was in the process of making the feature movie, and we had to stop.
Mm,
And we had to stop for like I think like 6 7 months. We had to put everything on
yeah.
pause, and then continuity became a big thing because once we started picked up the shooting again, we had to make everyone look the same as them where we stopped at. You know,
Yeah.
so it was a challenge. It was a challenge. It was
Hmm.
the gifts and curses to um, making a movie during that time. And I think one of the things,
Yeah.
and this is where podcasting really blew up because of the
Yeah.
pandemic. And you see so many people has a podcast now. Everybody trying to be like
Yeah.
me, but anyway, but not, but everybody has a podcast now, right? But that
Yeah.
was birthed from the pandemic. Everyone being in the house
Yes.
and wanting to talk to somebody and do something. But it also gave us as filmmakers a creative mind to make smaller movies with less crew and cast. And I've done
Yeah.
it. I've done it twice already since the pandemic, and it gives us more creative juice to do
Hmm.
something or produce something. So it was a gift and a curse. You know.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. So have you done anything short movies?
No, but I would love to because I would love to do something short for the film festivals. I
Okay.
would love to do that.
Yeah, we have here in Philly, and not just Philly. It's definitely worldwide. It's the 48-hour film challenge. So you have to
Oh,
make a film in 48 hours. So you have to write it,
oh, that's
shoot
dope.
it, and edit it. It has to be turned in 48 hours. So we've done that 4 times
Wow.
here in Philly. So
Okay.
if you wanna learn something quick, that's definitely how you do it. Yeah. So
Okay.
it turns out pretty good too. Yeah. But I know
And do
Detroit's
y'all
definitely on the list. Hmm?
when you guys do that, do you have like screenings for it?
Yeah, and after that, it's a contest. So usually it's about 10 to 15 different teams. So at the end, they have a whole viewing that whole night, and you get to watch everyone's film. And then
Oh,
there's awards
nice.
and stuff like that. So yeah, it's cool. It's pretty cool. Yeah, but it
Nice.
definitely goes to Detroit. Yeah, it definitely does. It goes to all the major cities in the United States. Yeah.
Nice.
So how involved are you in the post production process for your films?
Very involved.
She
I
like
don't know how to
very.
do any. Yes, I don't know how to do any of the work, but I'll definitely. Me and my editor, we talked several times. He sends me clips. I watch it on Vimeo. I send it back to him. I'm making notes right on Vimeo. The sound process is the same thing. I'm
Hmm.
listening to it. I'm like, look, there's some air here, the good in here, there's something there. I send it back. It's a very long process.
Yeah. So some of the conversations that y'all are having when you're going back and forth, telling him that you want things? What is that process like? What is that lingo like?
Listen, it's just like, look, there's something wrong with the sound here. Can you fix it? Or
Hmm.
can you add some music here? Or can you do, it's just, I'm straight to the point about exactly what it is that I want. And I normally work with the same people, so they pretty much know where I'm coming from.
What to expect from you, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So you're not the type of filmmaker that people don't want to work with.
No,
Because,
no, no, no.
yeah, because
I got,
there's a running joke that we always laugh about here in Philly. There's a famous actress that only wanted was it red M&Ms in her trailer, like and that's like and she was really stern on that. Like so we always
wow.
joke about that on set, like because sometimes some of these great actors out here are very demanding on set. So even
Oh,
as you as a filmmaker or in the editing
yeah.
process, that's why I was asking you: are you real demanding when it comes to getting what you want?
You know what? I don't think so. I think as long as my sound is good, the editing is good,
Hmm.
I'm not really demanding. If my editor tells me there's a reason why he can't do something, or
Hmm.
he's teaching me about the feel, the cinematic feel, then I'm open to it.
Right. Well, I had the chance to watch some of your work, and your all your projects look very well. They're really well shot. So I
Oh,
definitely think
thank
you're
you.
doing a very good job with that. So that's one thing you don't
Thank
have to
you.
worry about is the look of
Yeah.
it.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah,
I
no
take
problem.
pride.
So, what was the biggest challenge on your last film set, and how did you overcome it?
I would say the biggest challenge was dealing with some of the attitudes of the
Mm,
actors.
yes.
I think they just had a little different feel this season, and I
Hmm.
wasn't really feeling it. But we made it through, and once we got through, I was done with it and on to the next project. But definitely some actors.
You had to check some people at the door,
Yes,
huh?
yeah, yeah.
Now, in the series that you're talking about, are you working with experienced actors or inexperienced actors in the general?
They were all experienced,
Okay.
with the exception of the one that played the mother. That
Hmm.
was her first time
First time.
doing any type.
Okay. Because some people don't really understand how long we're on set. Like,
Yeah.
it's not a quick thing.
Ooh.
Like what you see, yeah.
Yes.
Like what you see on TV is the final edit, but you don't know about the long
Yes.
process, right? So, and,
Yes.
and
It's a
sometimes when
bunch of
people are
hurry up.
new, they don't know that.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. It's a
And
bunch of hurry up and wait.
yes, and then you get a bunch of huffing and puffing in the corner, and why is
Yes.
this taking so long? We did it three
Yeah.
times already, like stuff like that. So,
Yes.
so,
Yes.
and when you talk
Yes.
about dealing with attitudes, that's definitely what I was talking about.
Yes. You are absolutely correct.
Hmm. But how do you deal with that personally on sets when you have something that's not feeling your vision? How do you deal with that?
Sometimes I'll pull the person to the side and I'll be like,
Hmm.
look, what's the problem?
Right.
And how can we make it better? I try to be a problem solver, and I'm accommodating, but I'm not too accommodating. So we got
Hmm.
to meet somewhere in the middle.
Right. Yeah, you got to. And yeah, and that's the conversations you don't always want to have, but sometimes you have to have. So I
For
truly
sure.
understand. Yeah. So what's something that you wish more people understood about when it comes to filmmaking?
That what you just were talking about, that it's a hurry up and wait, and you're
Hmm.
gonna be on set. You say you want to act or get into film, you want to be background talent, that you may be on set for a few hours, and
But
it may be several takes, but this is what needs to be done to get it done.
hmm and sometimes being the extra, they get it worse because
Yeah,
they're you sometimes sitting off in the corner somewhere for a long time before they even told anything to do. Like they're just
Yes.
sitting there, and they become very impatient, and sometimes they may want to leave because I'm only getting a couple dollars anyway. So
Yeah.
it's things you got to deal with. But then that one or two people may leave may mess up your scene because you needed
For
them.
sure. For sure.
Yeah.
So but for me, what I've started doing is not having them come out so early. I
Mhm.
literally schedule them maybe 30 minutes before their shot is supposed to go up. And
Okay.
I haven't had a problem yet. And then I also make sure I feed them. I'm very nice and,
Mhm.
I try to make them laugh. And
Mhm.
if they are sitting there for quite some time, I go back and forth and I check on them every chance that I get. Make sure they got snacks, make sure they got whatever they need and stuff like
Okay.
that.
Okay, yeah, food will definitely make a lot of people happy. So
Yeah,
you won't be crying anymore. It's like a baby crying. You put a
yes,
bottle in his mouth.
yeah.
Now that's good. So what have to date? What project have you been the most proud of?
I have a movie called A Family Divided that I absolutely love.
Hmm.
It's a family movie. It's kind of sad, but it's just showing that there's a lot of love in his home. They're going through some changes. They have to make a big decision. But I'm most proud of showing a black man who is faithful, who is loving, who is caring, and who is about his family. Because, we make a lot of films where the black man is not. So.
Hmm. Yeah, that's good to have a different twist in the story. Um, is that a personal story in any way?
No, not at all.
Okay, it's just something you thought of
Yeah.
and wrote.
Just something I just thought of and wrote. Yeah.
Okay. So going back to writing again, you also wrote books, right? Am-
Yes.
Okay. How many books have you written?
So I've wrote like four, but I've only published one.
Okay. Now,
I
do you have
self-published.
any? I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was just saying I self-published the one, which I turned into my first movie.
Okay. Yeah, that's what I was about to ask you next. Are you looking to turn your books into movies? Also.
I I definitely will be doing that.
Okay.
Cain and Abel started off as a book that I wrote.
Mhm.
That came from an idea that I was writing. I just made some changes to it, but it was a book that I was writing.
Mhm. Okay. Cool. Now, is it difficult to turn a book into a movie?
No, no, it's not difficult. Um, you just break it down and put everything in the script that you want in the script. I don't think for someone else it may be, but I don't think for me it's difficult.
Yeah, because I know when I read books, um, I'm trying to say this correctly.
Uh,
The way it's written, it's more like, well, I guess it's according to what type of book I'm reading. Because it seems like everything is dialogue, but then there's some things are really not dialogue. But
yeah,
you have to kind of. That's why I say, is it difficult to turn a book into a movie because you might have to adjust some things, right?
that's what I was gonna say. You just have to maybe cut down a little bit of the dialogue from the book or even the actions part that you write, and that's in the movie. You have to cut some of that in half from the book and
Hmm.
just shorten it down.
Okay. Because I always hear that the books are better than the movie. And I think that's because when we read books, we create our own vision for them. And
Yes,
then
most definitely.
and then when someone else is in control, it's like I don't like that because
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
their vision, right? Would you agree
yeah.
with that?
Yes, yeah,
Hmm.
I would definitely agree.
Yeah. So I think that's why people are more you know looking forward to reading a book than watching a movie sometimes. Because I've been in the movie
Yeah,
theater and I've heard people in the audience say, "Oh, the book was better" at the end of the movie, and I'd be like, "Wow, was it? That was a good movie." So, but that's your own vision. That's how it goes. All right. Well, I think we lost Renika, but I do want to thank her for being a guest on my show today. She gave me a lot of interesting conversation about how an early filmmaker survives on set. I mean, it's a scary situation to walk in, but she's doing amazing jobs in Detroit. Please check out her films on Detroit on Tubi. Tubi has their own section now for Detroit filmmakers, so definitely look out for that. Other way, thank y'all for tuning in today. I am James Winborn. That was Renika McQueen, and stay tuned. And thank y'all for watching today.